Hello, welcome to Guidance Education channel. We are continuing electric charge and electric fields. Chapter 1, Class 12 Physics. In this video, we are going to discuss some important questions from electrostatic force and force between multiple charges. I have discussed 4 questions and this video will be of great use to you. So watch the video completely without skipping. If you find the video useful, like the video, share the video and also leave your comments in the comment box below. Please subscribe and also press the bell button in order to get intimated as soon as videos are posted. Thank you. This is the first question. Two charges Q1 and Q2 are at a distance in air. What will be the nature of the force between them when Q1 is greater than 0, Q2 is greater than 0? That means both charges are positive. Second one, Q1 is less than 0, Q2 is less than 0. So both are negative. So both the first case and the second case are cases of like charges. Third one, Q1 is greater than 0, Q2 is less than 0. So first one is positive and the second one is negative. So this is a case of unlike charges. Now you can easily predict the nature of the force between them. Like charges repel and unlike charges attract. So answer for the first and second section is the nature of the force is repulsive. For the third question, the answer is attraction or attractive. They have asked the nature. So it's very simple. We will pass on to the next question. First question, section B. What happens to the magnitude of the force when 1. Magnitude of charge is increased. Second one, the distance between the charge is increased. Third one, the charges are placed in water. Now you can understand the medium is changed. Give reason for each one above. So when we answer each section, we will give the reason also along with that. Then it becomes easy. From the mathematical expression of Coulomb's law, we know that the electrostatic force depends directly on the product of the charges and inversely on the square of the distance between the charges. It also depends inversely on the electric permittivity of the medium. So, when magnitude of the charges is increased, the force also increases. Let us recall the formula. F is equal to 1 by 4 pi epsilon naught Q1 Q2 by R square. So, we will note down the reason. Force is directly proportional to Q1 Q2. So, when Q1 Q2 increases, then force also increases. Second question. When distance increases, force decreases. What is the reason? Force is inversely proportional to R square. So when R increases, force decreases. Moreover, the distance is squared. Third question, when charges are placed in water, force decreases. Reason, electric permittivity of water is greater than electric permittivity of air or space. I will explain the term permittivity. Permittivity is a characteristic of a medium. It is different for different media. It is the ability of the medium to absorb energy. Greater the energy absorbed, greater the permittivity. So water absorbs more energy than air or space. So less energy is available for transmission. Moreover, from the formula we can understand force is inversely proportional to permittivity of the medium. So when permittivity increases, force decreases. I hope it is quite clear. It is very simple. We will pass on to the next question. That is second question. We will do the second problem. 4-point charges QA, QB, QC and QD of magnitude 2 microcoulomb, negative 5 microcoulomb, 2 microcoulomb and negative 5 microcoulomb respectively are at the four corners of a square ABCD. If another charge Q of 1 microcoulomb is placed at the center O of the square, what will be the force experienced by the charge Q? We will represent this in the form of a picture. This is the square ABCD. This is the charge QA at A. The magnitude is 2 microcoulomb. Let this be charge QB at B. Its magnitude is negative 5 microcoulomb. This is charge QC at C. Its magnitude is 2 microcoulomb. This is charge QD at D. Its magnitude is negative 5 microcoulomb. Draw the diagonal to find the center of the square. I mark the center as O. This is the charge Q at the center of the square. Its magnitude is 1 microcoulomb. We have to find out the force experienced by Q due to QA, QB, QC and QD. The central charge Q is positive and it is 1 microcoulomb. QA and QC are like charges and they are positive. Their magnitude is the same. QC will exert a force on Q along this direction. QA will exert a same force on Q in this direction. Since the charges are same, the force will be that of repulsion. But the forces act in opposite direction, therefore get cancelled. Now consider the other two charges QD and QB. They are also like charges, but they are negative. Their magnitude also is same. Q is positive, QD is negative, QB also is negative. So the force exerted by them on Q will be that of attraction, but in opposite direction. So the force due to QB and QD also get cancelled. We have already seen that the force due to QA and QC also is 0. So the net force experienced by charge Q at the center of the square is equal to 0. I hope it is quite clear. Third question. 3 charges Q1, Q2, Q3 equal to Q. That is, all of them are having the same magnitude, are placed at the 3 corners of an equilateral triangle of side L. What is the force on a charge Q placed on the centroid of the triangle? All charges have the same sign. For convenience, we will take it as positive charges. This is a problem from your prescribed text. We shall answer this question using a diagram. This is the equilateral triangle A, B and C. This is the charge Q1 equal to Q at A. This is the charge Q2 also equal to Q at B. This is charge Q3 equal to Q at C. You know the angles of the equilateral triangle are same and it is equal to 60 degrees. The sides are also equal and in the problem it is given as equal to L. AD is a perpendicular to BC drawn from vertex A. Another charge Q is present on the centroid of the triangle. As per centroid theorem, the centroid of a triangle is at 2/3 of the distance from the vertex to the midpoint of the sides. That is 2/3 of AD. Now consider the right angled triangle ADC. Angle DAC is 30 degrees. Angle ADC is 90 degrees. Angle ACD is 60 degrees. You know the side ratio is equal to 1:√3:2. The smallest side of the triangle is DC and it is taken as 1. The largest side is AC and it is taken as 2. And AD is equal to √3. DC is L by 2 because BC is equal to L. So AD is equal to √3 into L by 2. You know the principle because it has to be multiplied by the measurement of the smallest side, and this is equal to √3 by 2 L. AC is equal to 2 into L by 2. equal to L. So we have the values of the three sides of the right angle triangle in relation to L. We know cos theta is equal to adjacent side by hypotenuse. So cos 30 is equal to AD by AC. AD we know is equal to root 3 by 2 into L, and AC is equal to L. So root 3 by 2 into L divided by L. So from this we can understand AD equal to root 3 by 2 L is equal to cos 30 into L, that is L cos 30. We have already seen that the centroid of the triangle is a 2/3 of the distance from the vertex along the perpendicular drawn to the midpoint of the side. Now we will complete the diagram and find out the centroid geometrically. The point where all the perpendiculars meet is the centroid marked O. Charge Q is placed there. Charge Q is at a distance AO from Q1, BO from Q2 and CO from Q3. AO is equal to BO is equal to CO, and AO is equal to 2/3 of AD. But AD is equal to root 3 by 2 into L. We will substitute that here. On simplification, it becomes root 3 by 3 into L. To remove the square root, we will square up the whole equation. Then it becomes AO square is equal to root 3 square into L square by 3 square, which on simplification becomes L square by 3. Remember, AO is the distance of the charge Q from Q1. It is also equal to BO and CO. Force on Q due to Q2 is equal to 1 by 4 pi epsilon naught capital Q small q, because it is mentioned in the problem that all the charges present at the corners are equal to Q, divided by square of the distance between Q and capital Q, which is equal to L square by 3, which becomes 3 by 4 pi epsilon naught capital Q small q by L square. Along BO, F3, the force due to Q3 on capital Q is equal to 3 by 4 pi epsilon naught capital Q small q divided by L square along CO. These two forces are having the same magnitude but having different directions. The resultant of these two forces can be found out by completing the parallelogram. This side of the parallelogram is F3 and this side F2. This diagonal gives the magnitude and direction of the resultant force. It is along OA. So the resultant is represented as 3 by 4 pi epsilon naught capital Q small q divided by L square along OA. Let the unit vector of OA be marked as R cap. Now F1, the force exerted by Q1 on capital Q. 3 by 4 pi epsilon naught capital Q small q divided by L square, but along AO. The unit vector for OA is positive R cap. So the unit vector for AO is negative R cap because they are in opposite direction. So it is clear that force F1 on capital Q is equal but opposite to the resultant of the force F2 and F3 on capital Q. So they get cancelled. So the net force on capital Q at the centroid is equal to 0. I hope it is quite clear. We will meet in the next video with another important topic. Thank you very much.